Good morning. It is Sunday morning, August the 26th. A little after 7, about 7:15. Weather forecast for today, back in days leading up to today, was for southwest winds today. As of this morning's forecast, the winds are predicted to be from the northwest, which is in fact where they are coming from. They're also supposed to be light and variable. There's about 5 knots maybe now. So northwest is exactly the wrong direction, and I wasn't sure what would the currents. This whole area has a lot of strong currents, and light winds aren't enough to fight strong currents. And anyway, to make a long story long, we're going to probably be doing a lot of motoring today. We're going to start out that way. So the goal is to go to Woods Hole and then to Hadley Harbor, because actually tonight there's supposed to be 10 to 15 knot winds with gusts up to 20, so we want a protected harbor, and Hadley Harbor qualifies. So that's about it. We'll pull up the anchor and start puttering along. It's about 10 after 8, and we have left Edgartown Harbor, and it's time to look at the map. So we spent the night down here, and we came up to this buoy, number 6, and then we sneaked through a passage in this bank here, which isn't very shallow if you're careful. And now we're proceeding west over to this shore, and then we're going to proceed up this shore and eventually up to East Chop. Whoops, up there. And the reason we're doing that is just that I think it'll be more interesting to have a look, see what's along the shore here, than to follow my track line out here in the middle. We'll get to the same place. It's a little after 10:30, and we should take another look at the chart. So we came across this unnamed bay, and then up the shoreline here, and up and around East Chop, and then across Vineyard Haven Sound to West Chop, and ran into quite a bit of current and chop out here. Maybe that's why it's named that. And we're currently going down this shoreline and we're gonna duck into Tashmoo Harbor, or that's the plan anyway, because I'm just curious about it. Well, Tashmoo Harbor, or Tashmoo Lake, certainly seems pleasant and well protected, and there's quite a few boats in there, but I could have found a place to anchor, even though it's a Sunday afternoon, so, or is it still Sunday morning? Alright, so we're back out into Vineyard Sound, and there seems to be some wind, so we'll try putting up the sails. Not too bad. We're making between 3 and 3.5 knots on a close reach. So the wind still hasn't shifted around to the southwest that had been for days and days. The predicted wind for today, we're slowly clocking around to northwest, and I guess we're kind of west now. All right, that should put us over at the entrance to Woods Hole. A little after noon. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I am in Hadley Harbor. I've actually been here for a while. I motored around some looking for a spot to anchor. The inner harbor looked full. Actually, I didn't even go all the way in there, just based on the traffic. I think it was safe to assume that that was full. So I'm in the outer harbor. It took me a while to find a place to anchor, mostly just because I don't have any experience really in anchoring in a relatively crowded anchor area, and this qualifies as that, I would say. So I'll let you have a look around. So there's all kinds of boats here. Ended up a little closer to this guy than I would have liked, but I think that guy's even closer to him than I am. That guy probably anchored the white boat. He just anchored, and I think he ended up closer to the blue boat than he intended. That 50-foot trawler tried to anchor behind me. I wouldn't even think there was enough water for him to float there, but he decided to move on, and that's good. There's kind of a big hole there where there was a boat a couple of minutes ago, and here in front of me there's a couple of holes, because in the relatively short time that I've been here, there's been like about a 50% turnover in boats. People leaving, people arriving. Seems very strange. And if this was a Friday night or a Saturday night, it would make more sense to me than this level of activity. But it's a Sunday afternoon, and I assume some of these people are day trippers, and they're going to not spend the night, but we'll have to see. I mean, I knew this was a popular anchorage from Active Captain. Anyway, we seem to be settled in. The anchor's holding. So I've been relaxing. I'm going to continue to relax. Oh, but first I should fill in a story about the trip from Lake Tashmoo to here. It's not a big story, but we might as well do it, and we'll use the chart. Well, there really isn't a chart that shows the Vineyard Sound from Lake Tashmoo crossing over to Woods Hole and Woods Hole. So we did get about an hour's sail in crossing Vineyard Sound, and that was very nice. And then we dropped the sail to come into Woods Hole Passage, where the current was running pretty strongly. It's almost always is in one direction or the other. In our case, it was going with us, so we came in here like a bat out of hell. And then down into Hadley Harbor. You know, I just stuck my head in here and saw it looked pretty full. And if there were any empty moorings in there, somebody would have already taken them. So we're where we're anchored is over here in about 10 feet of water. And it's not too bad. The breeze is still mostly out of the south, and so we're getting pretty well protected from that. Well, I don't know where this guy thinks he's going. Now, it looks like this guy in front of me is leaving, so I got a bad feeling that that huge boat is going to try to squeeze himself in over there. Well, it's not that much of a squeeze, so much as I don't want to be close to him in particular, but such is life. So for dinner tonight, this is backpacking chicken and rice with vegetables, dehydrated, and now rehydrated. And we've got a salad and, of course, a bit of wine. Well, it's about 7:45. And this is just a late note to say that it appears that most of the people who were in this anchorage this afternoon were just day trippers, and they've all gone. There are 4 boats, counting me as one of them, left here in the anchorage, which I'm just as happy about, since we're much less likely to bump into each other. Earlier in the day, the weather forecast had been predicting 25 knot winds tonight, and I just read the latest forecast, and that's dropped down to 20, which makes me feel a little better. I did prepare the second anchor for quick deployment, just in case, and we'll leave that in place. But of course, we doubt that'll be necessary. All right, well, I'll give you a short look at the anchorage, and then we'll say goodnight.